So now getting into quantitative part. So based upon your quantity of variables, your whole variable set is divided into following types. So one is categorical and another one is numerical. So this is what two variables are depending upon your quantity, right? So let's get into the categorical part. Let's see first how categorical works. So categorical data represents a group or a categories, right? So if it is a male, if it is female, if it is yes, or if it is no, different sets of cars, right? So there is Mercedes, there is like Fiat, there is like Tata, there is Maruti, there is Hyundai. There are many sets of cars as well, right? So these were different categories in cars, or it could be yes or a no, or it could be male or a female, right? So these were the categorical data. And these categorical data again divided into nominal and ordinal. So let's get into the nominal part. Nominal and ordinal. Let's get into nominal. So nominal variables, they are variables that have more or two or more categories. So, but they do not have a specific order to it or an intrinsic order to it. So if I ask you, what is your best season? So which season you like, right? You don't are or the best season, like we don't have a proper order, right? So one likes one season and another one likes another season, right? We don't have a proper order for it, right? So if I ask you, who is greater, male or a female? No, we don't have a proper order for it. Two are equal, right? So this kind of a thing could be called as nominal. So what is ordinal then? So ordinal is something which we have a specific order for these categories or they are ranked in it. So if you get into a restaurant, so if there is, you have gone through the restaurant and you need to rate it. So they have a specific order: one, two, three, four, five. So one means excellent, two means very good, three means good, four means not that good, and five means bad. We have an order for it, right? So that is the way the categorical data is divided into ordinal and nominal. So all these things are nominal, right? All these things are nominal, and ordinal has a rank to it, right? So that's the difference between ordinal and categorical data. And these categorical data are called as qualitative data. So these categorical data are called as qualitative data. Now let's get into the numerical data. So the values of these variables, the numerical data variables, involve a counted or a measured value, like, so it could be, so nominal data will not be having any category. So if you say yes or a no, there is no specific importance or there is no, so this one comes after this one. So if you take the ordinal data, so first you will do your graduation, then you will do undergraduation, and I'm really sorry, undergraduation, graduation. Then you will be doing your post graduation, then you will be doing your PhD. There is a specific order for your education, right? The same thing with the nominal data, there won't be any specific order to it. So, as said, if it is yes or a no, which one is a bigger one and which one is not? So, we don't have an order for this one. So, if you say this one comes first and this one comes second, no, there is no particular order. So if you take male or female, which one comes first? There is no particular order, right? So all the male and all the females are equal. All the yes and all the no are equal. So if there is no particular order in the data, it is called as nominal. If there is order in the data, that one is called as ordinal, as simple as that. So now we are getting into, right. So that is the reason why I may have given you a bad example with the seasons. So that is the reason why. So I was asking everyone, which is the best season for you? So it's the choice of season, right? So it could be winter for me, it could be spring for you, it could be autumn for someone, right? So it is not an order of where you start and where you end. So yes, that could be a better example. I could have given you a better example, but now you know there is no particular order for the choice of people for the best season, right? So if I ask you what is the season, like which one starts first or which one ends first, so at that particular point of time, that could be changed into an ordinal thing. So now you got to know, yes, Mahesh, right? Uh, Gautam. Okay, 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 okay. So I was checking for the name. Okay. So now we are getting into the numerical data. So as said, they involve with some measured values. So it could be numbers or it could be integers from, if I say it's 0 to infinity. And again, these values are divided into discrete and continuous. So what is discrete thing? So discrete things are something where we can count, right? So they are countables or integers. So if I ask you, so these were mainly of integers. So if I ask you, how many kids do you have, right? It could be one or two. It can never be one and a half, right? So it could be one, two, three, or four, or something like that. It could be not one and a half or 1.35, or it could be in that way, right? So these values are discrete values. So the next one is continuous values. So they are theoretically floats. So how much weight can you lift? Now you can say that I can lift 10.5 kgs, right? 11.5 kgs or 100.5 kgs, right? So in that case, which case, Gautam? I didn't get you. Let me just check out. So for the rating, we even will have choices, right? From might give you good. Right, we have choices. That is not nominal, right? So the rating which I am saying you is, so if you have a y variable, one, two, three, four, five, six, right? So the rating which you are telling in this example, the first one has to be the best one, and the last one has to be the worst one. There is an order for it. So one comes after two or before two, and after two it will be three, after three it will be four, and after four it will be five, and after five it will be six. There is a proper order for it. So just like the education thing which I have given you. So undergraduation, post graduation, PhD, right? So that is the thing how ordinal variable works. If it is yes or a no, if it is something like, so loan prediction. So should I give the loan prediction yes or a no or a don't know? So depending upon these things, it is a nominal one. If there is a specific order to it, order is something where it should be in one, two, three, four, five. So if you take who are all the best batsmen in the world, so if you go to this ESPN Sports Info or something, it will be given or it will be ranked according to the number of runs he made. So the first one will be Tendulkar, the second one could be Ricky Ponting, the third one could be someone else. There is an order for it. So it is not, if I ask you who is your best cricketer, so there is no specific order for it. So that is how you can differentiate ordinal and a nominal variable. So now you know what is discrete and now what is continuous. So how many liters of water, or yes, how many liters of water you drink every day? I'll be drinking 2.2 liters of water every day. That comes under discrete. So how many bottles you have at your home? So I have two bottles or three bottles or five bottles. It is not something like until unless you cut it into a half, it will not be a one and a half bottle or two and a half bottle, right? So this is how a discrete and continuous variables can be differentiated. And all the numerical data we have are quantitative data. Okay, Gautam, no problem. So, so all the numerical data are called as a quantitative data. So qualitative and quantitative. So let's get into when I have got, so you'll be getting some data. So how to display these things? So there are some ways your statisticians or your data analysts so represent data in form of, so to represent the data, you need to, so if you show these numbers to your marketing leadership team or your sales leadership team or at least your manager, so he'll be confused. So majority of the data, I could say, until unless if your manager is not too much into statistical one, so majority of your data analyst and statistician present the data in a form of charts and graphs. So let's get into some basic graphs to work with different data types. So as we have started with categorical data, okay, as we have started with categorical data, so let's get into presenting categorical variables. So as we know, it is for the categorical variables with charts, we can view the count, the amount, the percentage of a particular category. So with the representation for the categorical data, you could represent count, amount, percentage of that specific category. So here we may work with single or multiple variables, right? So as I've told you, univariate and bivariate analysis. So to understand these things, so let's start with the univariate analysis. So if you want to understand how things are working in a single variable, so univariate. So first we shall be starting with the bar chart. So if you could see, this chart contains rectangles. So if you could just look into this one. So they are having bars or rectangles in which the length of each bar represents the count or the amount or the percentage of the responses of one category. So these were the categories, and what is the percentage of usage I could see for these particular categories. So how adults pay their monthly bills. So majority of the adults pay. So I guess this is mostly from 1960s or 1970s graphs. So no one is, I guess no one is really paying in check. So just to give you a simple example. So here we can see that chart gives the percentage of your payments, right? So this is a bar chart. Then let's get into another chart for univariate, which is pie chart. So this also does the same thing, but it will be giving in circles or pie. So it gives the representation of whole total. So what is the percentage? You can check here. So these were the charts we could use for univariate analysis. If you have only one variable and if you want to analyze it, which is a categorical variable, you can go with a bar chart or a pie chart. So what if I have two variables? What if I have more than one variable? So in this point, I want to know what is the relationship between the two variables. So the first chart would be in the bivariate for the categorical, not even the first chart, we have only one chart. So the two-way cross table. So you might have gone through this in your Excel, right? So it's just a multi-column table that represents the count or a percentage of responses of two categorical variables. So in this example, if you could see, so we have one column which is the particles found, and the second column is water condition, right? All these two are your categorical data. So we have two categorical data. So the two-way table represents, so if you could see, with only yes, if the particle are found, what are the conditions of the water we have, the wafer condition or whatever the condition it could be. So if the particles are found, so if you take the number of bottles, 14 bottles are in a good condition and 36 bottles are in bad condition. The same way with, if the particles found are less particles, if there are no particles, good condition is like 320 and bad condition is like 80. So it could represent in this way. So particle found, yes, okay, and here it will be something like bad. Particle found, no, it will be something like good. Particle found, yes, it will be something like uh, good or good. So we'll be comparing these things and we'll be getting a total of these numbers. So this is how your two-way cross table works. So this is how you need to represent your data. If there are many other tables or whatever you call the representation tables as well. So initially, I definitely recommend you guys to work on these three charts if you're working on categorical data. So now let's get into representing your numerical variables. So as of you know, it is a discrete or continuous values. So the charts for the numerical data will be explaining you what is the center, what is the spread, are there any outliers. So this will be the one will be explaining from the charts for the numerical data. So let's get into the same thing. We have done univariate and bivariate. So let's get into the same part. So if you want to understand how things are working with one single variable. So do anybody know how we represent the numerical data? If you have a single column in Excel sheet, how can we represent it? Anyone? Bar chart. Ah, no. So bar chart is something. So now you are getting into this track. So bar chart is something where we shall be working only on categorical data. Line chart maybe no. So line chart is something. So if you have vertical bars, okay. So line chart is something where it is like first, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day, seventh day. Yes, we can work on the line chart as well. So this is mainly will be working on time series data. So all the line charts and all this stuff. So you might have heard about histogram, right? So for the univariate analysis, so we shall be using. So as Pooja said, so it is same of a bar chart, but for the continuous variables. The one thing in histogram is it divides the continuous data. So if you could see, it divides the continuous data into intervals or bins intervals. So your continuous data, if you have a data from 0 to infinity, it will be or 0 to 100. So with the same example, if you could say, so that will be dividing the whole continuous variable into a specific intervals. If you could see on the chart, so it has divided the age group into 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and so on. So with histogram, we can know the underlying distribution of the data. So distribution, how the distribution goes. So this will be your distribution. So if you want to know what actually the distribution of my particular variable, it could be a normal distribution, it could be any kind of a distribution. So it also useful to check whether we have outliers or skewness in the data. So what if there are like, so if you could see, these were the outliers. So they are very limited values or very limited people who are with the age of 70 to 80. I really don't need these guys. So outliers are something which are highly extreme values, or extreme values, it could be very low or very high, right? So these were the extreme values which I have. Just by putting a histogram, I could define the outliers in my data and the skewness of the data. Once we get into the skewness, but skewness is something, is it a left skew or is it a right skew? So depending upon the data, so if it is a left or a right skew, you need to work on data manipulation or pre-processing, right? So all these things are used to understand the data, representing of variables and all this stuff. So in this example, if you could see, we have splitted the bins into a 10-year period, starting from 20 years, right? So this is what, and each bin contains the number of occurrence of scores or the data. What is the frequency of the data contained in that bin? So if you could see the age distribution for any particular thing. So there are 20 to 30 are the people who are having the majority. They are mostly above 180, right? So the count of passengers versus the age, if you could see, there are like 20 to 30 age group are more who are traveling from so Hyderabad to Delhi. So we got to know that 20 to 30% age group are more. So what you could do with these things, so being a marketing guy or a marketing director, majority of the people in the flight are, at least for this particular 1 month, are age group 20 to 30. What should you do being a marketing guy or who is in the field? So think you as a Vijay Malia. So being a Vijay Mallya, apart from putting that into bankruptcy, so what you will do? So if I give you a representation of this histogram to you, so what is the business idea for you? Anyone? Some discounts or design marketing plan to attract, right? So these were the things we could do just by looking into our data. So if I give few numbers to it or few numbers to Vijay Malia, man, he has brand ambassador. Oh, that's a good one. So we could put a brand ambassador who is of that young age so that he or she could attract so the people who are between these age groups, right? So this is the where you could just at a glimpse of this graphs, you could give that the changes which could be done to increase your profit, right? So these were the things which you could do. Apart from that, in data analysis, you could understand the distribution, outliers, skewness, and there are many things to understand the distribution of the data, right? So now let's get into the bivariate analysis. Bivariate analysis. So if you want to understand the relationship between two variables, two numeric variables. So the first one is a scatter plot. So a scatter plot is something two-dimensional data visualization that uses dots to represent the values obtained from two different variables. I'm really sorry. So scatter plots are used when you want to show the relationship between two variables. So in scatter plot, if you could see, so this will be a scatter plot. So your x-axis will always be representing one variable, and your y-axis, which is also a vertical axis, which will be representing your second variable. So if you could see the below graph, we have two values, which is weight and height, two variables, which is weight and height. So we have plotted a scatter plot here. So the below graph or this below graph shows so the relationship between a height and a weight, right? So when the weight increases, your height also increases. This could be a bad example, or in a way I could just strike it off the age, or I could say age here, right? So your age increases, your height also increases majority of the times, right? So your age increases, meanwhile your height also increases. So tell me one example where your x-axis increases and your y-axis decreases. Tell me one example. Any one. Temperature. What is this? Temperature and volume, Pooja? Closed systems. Oh, you're being complicated. Water and plant height also. So if you make an excess watering to your plant, the plant might decrease. I could give you a simple example. Temperature and ice cream sales, right? Or in a way, so your your temperature, right? Or your sweaters. So your temperature increases, right? So if your temperature increases, so your sweater or your jumper, whatever the thing your product is, your sales will be decreased, right? So this is one example where, so this one is a positive correlation and this one is a negative correlation. So both weight and height increases, weight increases, height also increases. This is a positive one. And if your temperature increases, exercise and weight, right? That could be also your, if you do your exercise or if you do workouts more, there is a high chances in reducing the weight as well, right? So this is the condition which we are in currently, exercising and reducing the weight. So there are different things, right? So positive and negative, one or minus one or plus one. So tell me an example where there is no correlation between one and another. So that will be a zero correlation one, right? So if you take the same example, age of a passenger and their weight. So we don't have a proper correlation for the age of passenger and the weight. So lawmakers and crime, maybe it has a zero correlation. I don't. It could be the, this one is a political one. I cannot comment you. So the same thing, the count of passengers versus the weight. So we don't really have a correlation between these two things, right? So a positive, negative, and a zero correlation. You could look into the scatter plot. So just by looking into the scatter plot, you could understand what actually the correlation are. So why to look into scatter plot to check the correlation? That we'll know once we get into the pre-processing steps. So as described, so there are many charts, guys. I'm so much serious with this one. So there are many charts. So currently, so being the fresher into all these things, I would suggest you to stick with the mentioned charts. So it could be a scatter, it could be a line. As said, line chart is also important if you have a time series data is something where you have in a sequence. All the data will be in a sequence. The first, what happened in the first, what happened in the second, what are the transactions in the third, transactions in the fourth. So if you have a time data, a time related data, first to 30th of that particular month, you could work with the line chart. So these are the different charts you could work with. So better. So now you got to know what is the difference between a line chart or a bar chart and a histogram, right? So bar chart is mainly used for a categorical data and histogram is used for numerical data where it will be separating all my numerical data into intervals. So that is the difference between a bar and a histogram. So these were the different charts you could work with. So once you got habituated with all these things, yes, you can work on the different charts. There are like hundreds of charts around us. So better you stick with these charts. So we shall be getting into these things.